Hi, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Dr. Gail, and this is Danny with Jenny Shay's Tarot, and your other channel's called
You keep asking me, and I keep forgetting. Danny Shay's Journeys.
Danny Shay's Journey. That's pretty bad, Danny. And my other channel with Terry Runner is Galactic Gaia. So, thanks for joining us and like and subscribe to all the channels. We appreciate it. And thanks for joining us today. As usual, Danny and I will be talking about all sorts of stuff. We'll get off the subject, whatever. We'll be answering your questions here in the future.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
not sure when, but we'll get there. So, what's new with you, Danny?
I don't know. I don't know what is new with me. Just plugging away, doing what I do. I've got a couple of journeys coming up this month. April, big month. We got a moon launch today. Do you know? Remember that?
Moonlight. So I was going to ask you. You usually go to Mount Shasta at the end of April. Are you going there this year?
No, I normally go at the end of June.
Oh, into June. Oh,
The
sorry,
end of June.
into June.
So we are in April. I'm doing a flyby on Shasta, like the moon, like what they're doing on the moon today,
Uh-huh.
uh, except not as fast. But I am doing a drive by, and we'll probably go at the end of June with my younger brother.
Mhm.
I normally do something, but no events or anything like that. We're just gonna
Yeah, I haven't seen
just
any advertisement or any events
yeah, we're just gonna hang out up there. So
like you used to do.
yeah, yeah, just get back in touch with it. So, but this month, April is it's a big month. So I got two journeys. One, I'm going to our galactic family to go up into space, and the other one, I'm going down to the center of the Earth.
Ooh,
So yeah, so
what about what about in between Earth or on Earth?
that's for you to do.
For me to on Earth. Yeah, usually either I'm out in the sky or in the water.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Oh,
So,
I had I had this great image when I was floating in my hot tub in the middle of the night. I got this image, and I probably should have talked to you about this before, but I was like, this energy just feels like we're all adrift and like we're losing all of our what we thought was our security and our base. We're being cracked open, and we are actually going into like this ether type energy where we're going, what is going on here? I got an image of me losing my boat in the middle of the ocean. So I'm floating in the ocean, and I'm going, holy crap, this is scary.
yeah, you
And so
lost.
I go, and then I hear the Jaws music, and I'm going, oh no. And I feel something coming up from the bottom of the ocean. I'm going, oh, this is probably going to be pretty quick. And so as it comes up, I hear this big whoosh, and it's a whale that comes up right next to me. So all my fears were were not true.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's what I was getting from while you're talking about it, was that they were pushing that boundary with you to show you that you can handle anything. There's
Any
nothing, yeah, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You can handle it, and that was they were showing you that the fear in your head is worse than what is actually happening.
yeah, yeah. And it's I don't think it's just me. I think
No,
it,
I think that's just such a human nature.
yeah, yeah. So and the just the thing that stuck with me besides the Jaws music and going, because I love sharks. I mean, that's the way I want to go.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with that. But when the whale came up, it just kind of sat there and looked at me eye to eye, and it was just so peaceful, so amazing.
That's great.
So
Well,
yeah.
let me say hello to a few people that are showing up here.
All right.
Okay, if I can get my scroll to work here. As you know, it's always the challenge. Sometimes the scroll just like has a mind of its own, or it's
Yeah.
knowing how to do it. But hi, GP 3322 and Sarah. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you. Let's see. Suzanne's got hello. Hello, dear Dr. Gail and Danny in the community. I am sending love hugs to you all. So it's so sweet.
No sharks?
Sharks. I have a shark story too. You've probably heard mine. Hey, Barbara, how you doing? Because I was a shark at one time. Hey, son of what? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Barbara. Thanks for being here. Hey, yet another Linda. Hey, 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 Jen Coop. She says, "Yay, caught y'all live, my lucky day."
Woohoo!
I'm glad you feel like it's a lucky day if you catch our lives. We appreciate it. So, hey, Laura, thanks for being here. Hey, Joe, thanks for being here. And let's see what else. We have the psychic dummy. Now, who's the
Alex.
psychic dummy? That's Alex. That's you. That's somebody you know.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know if I know Alex. Alex is a dummy, but he's psychic. But he's no.
Poor thing being
Alex
called a
keeps
dummy. Poor Alex.
poor Alex. You should see what he says about me. All
Okay.
right.
Well, okay. Let's say anyway. All right. Hey, Liz, thanks for being here. Hey, Catherine, thanks for joining us today. Hey, Emmy J. And Paula, thanks for being here from Northern Virginia. Hey, Sally Clark. Let's see. She's saying, no, Danny, we all have our own imaginations, but when does this regiment go away with all the threats? So we're not going to be talking about politics. This is the only time Danny's not allowed to talk about politics. We're not allowed, but asked not to. It's time away from it. We're here. This is us talking about extraterrestrials and other dimensional beings and those kind of things today. So, hey, Maria, thanks for being here. Sarah saying spirit is in charge of the scroll. And you're
Yeah.
exactly right, especially when I'm picking questions. I do think you're right, Sarah, that spirit takes over the wheel. What do you say when it comes to that? And let's see, we have as we heal each other. Oh, up here, you changed your title there. I like it. As we heal each other. Look at that. That's her new name. As we heal each other by Pure
Oh,
White. That's great. Hey, Patricia. Let's see, what are you saying here? Hello, Dr. Gail and Danny and Galactic Tribe. Please place questions in caps. Like and subscribe to both channels. Thank you. Thank you for looking after
you,
us, Patricia. Hey, CJ Dim. And let's see who else. So there's Sally Clark. There's GM Dave. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's April Fool's. I can't believe you missed. Are you holding back on a joke? Danny, I feel like
me?
you would have had a joke for me on April Fool's. In fact, I was kind of preparing for it.
Well, just wait.
You just wait, it's coming.
I don't
Okay.
have anything. I should, but I didn't.
For you, I fully was expecting. In fact, I was going, oh, don't worry about coming up with the April Fool's joke. Danny will be doing something crazy. But show everybody your T-shirt. Show them what it
Oh,
says.
all right. So here's
I
it
like the
say.
colors of this. Tell me you can see the aliens too.
Now this was gifted to me by my hillbilly brother's wife. She sees aliens, and
Is
the
she
time.
admitting it? Is she's admitting it to it now?
Nah, she's keeping it still under wraps. I
Okay.
don't know why. She lives in Missouri. I don't know why she's keeping it under wraps. They're all crazy down there. I know. I live there. They're crazy.
From there.
So, but she sent me this right when, and we're not going into political, but right when the ice thing picked up. So I
Right.
really can't wear it anywhere because I did at one time when I first got it, and I got some pretty damn funny looks.
I bet you did. I bet you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
So,
hey, Carl, gratitude spirit. Thanks for being here. And Dancing Blue, thanks for being here.
yay.
Joining
But
us.
I did want to talk about this
Go
shirt
ahead.
if we
Sure.
could. So when we are trying to tap into seeing the galactic friends, or galactic angels, beings, and when we are matching our vibrations so that we can actually be in contact with them, how does that work for you when you do that?
Well, I never sought them out, first off. Everybody who's trying to connect and everybody who's asking questions on how to connect, well, that's what I didn't do. I didn't ask connect. I was connecting with my father. I'm a medium. I was a closet medium. I didn't tell people I was a medium, or if I did say mediumship type things, I was looked at like I was crazy or dismissed or whatever. So I was not out in the open until we went in with 2020, and I went in not taking care of anybody at that time, and nobody to say anything about me connecting with the other side. That's when I started meeting my father and seeing my father. That was the first time I could visually see the people on the other side, and then connecting me with an angel first, and then the aliens or the ETs, extraterrestrials, galactic beings, whatever y'all want to call them.
Yeah.
Um, but that's how it was for me. It was not like I was out there going, "Oh, I want to meet an alien." And it did not work that way for me.
Yeah.
They came to me, but I told you that I was just writing a chapter in my new book about um, figuring out that I thought 2020 was the first time I had any kind of connection, and it turned out no. I started having, since I did open up to it and said yes, I would work with them. It started bringing out some memories of childhood doing these different things. And then it made me concerned about how long I had been working with the ETs, to go to Barbara Lamb and have a regression therapy about it. And that regression therapy revealed that I had been going with them since almost day one. I was just a few weeks old or a few months old, and going up to the spaceship, learning these things, being connected to these incubators, and I described the whole scene in my new book, and she's the mother on the spaceship, which we called her mother, was a gray hybrid with big blue eyes that were not human looking, but they were just like as big as her head practically. And she was carrying she was in care of a boy and a girl. And of course, the boy I have found out is you, that was taking care of the both of us. So we were like brother and sister on the spaceship, not on Earth. And we were being like propelled with information and learning things while we were up there. We went into like a recovery room, which was like a bouncy house, which was great when we finished. And then we went back to Earth. But the main thing about, for me, when we came to Earth, we were both like just normal human beings. And we were getting all this information and these special skills and learning how to do all those things just to work on a spaceship. And neither one of us had those skills here on Earth, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
That's
Can I back up? Did you say we're normal here on Earth?
Well, we're not exactly normal,
I
but
was just
we've had normal careers,
okay.
kind of normal careers. So anyway, there's been no special gift that has shown up that we can walk through walls, or we can go invisible, and we can do all these things that we can do. Well, you know what? We probably can do it. We just don't know how to translate it to this 3D body.
So that would be similar to shapeshifting.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
shape shift all over the place.
Right. So when we do that down here, yeah, and there's certain things that we as a species know we know, and we don't know how we know it. And so maybe there's a lot more of us that have been connected up there, but they didn't
Oh,
have our mom with great big blue eyes,
yes, I have normal blue eyes. Yes,
normal blue
yes.
eyes.
And she had really white skin, even though she was a gray hybrid. She had really white, like paper white skin. Well, it was a little grayish tint, but it was her blue eyes that stood out. And she was probably, a normal height or a regular human height. And it was a gray human mix, is what she was. That's why
Yeah.
she's a gray hybrid. And but what was fascinating was how many different color and shapes of not shapes of infants that were up there. There was like blue ones, lavender ones. And I remember even seeing one that was a black and white stripe, it looked like a zebra. And I'm just going, oh, I must be hallucinating to see a black and white zebra looking one. I was really questioning my sanity at that moment when I saw that one. And that it was all different beings. And Danny and I were the only human looking ones on there, except for the supervisor of that area was human. And she was so stern in how everybody was to handle the children. She was walking around and correcting everybody. She just reminded me my nursing school of when we first went in and we had to learn how to make corners on beds in the hospital, with the sheets and how you're thinking you've got it perfect, and she's that supervisor, the head nurse is coming in and correcting what you've done, and you've spent like hours trying to perfect it. But she kind of reminded me of that, and so
Smacking you on the hand with a ruler.
yes, exactly how it felt. But so that was my first, and that was Barbara Lamb who regressed me back to that to get. She was just pulling out details and details and details about it, and it was just amazing how that's all back in the back of our minds
Yeah.
that they can pull that kind of things out of you that is there, but you in your own body and own mind cannot pull that up or remember it. But she
Right.
pulled all the details out of me on that. How I was kept going up, and there was times where I was shown that they were coming out, and it was a white light that was shining down you, and you would just go up. Well, there were times where I was grabbing the edge of the crib, not wanting to go. So, don't disturb me, I want to go. But yeah, so I just remembered a lot of those things, and of course, more memories would come back about the childhood going up there. And what's I think was is strange for me is that how you don't remember those things. Of course, you're not going through regression therapy either.
Right. Right. And and I'm going to circle that around back to connecting with ETs and how we get there, because when we whether it's a regression therapy, because it's really hard for us to look in ourselves. That's why we have other readers read us. I
Right.
mean, we can kind of do it a little bit, but we're not really getting the
The
meat.
details. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when we raise our vibration, and however that is, it's certainly and I'm not, it's certainly stepping out of the fear that Jaws is going to eat you. And that's kind of I mean, again, that's the way that I would go. Nice
Yeah.
shark.
I was going to say that, and that's the biggest thing that does not connect people, or people cannot connect, is out of fear.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the reason why I could was because I was connected with my dad, who made it safe for me to meet the ETs.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason why I was able to meet them. He had passed and he was on the other side, and we were already communicating. So it made it easier for me to meet them. And everybody who's new here, I started meditating when it was 2020, and I didn't have anybody around to tell me I was crazy or saying something was wrong, that I was meeting these beings or doing mediumship. That there was no one around that was telling me I couldn't do that or shouldn't do that. Or
Yeah.
so and everybody's going to go, well, what kind of meditation? Which I'm asked all the time. What kind of meditation did you do? Terrible. I'm a terrible meditator. You know, I'm not the one to give the examples of that.
Oh, I
So,
think just the opposite. Because
why?
everybody thinks that they have to do it a certain way. It has to
Oh yeah,
be, no, it's just however you open up your imagination so that you can, and then you think, well, I'm just imagining it. And it's like, well, if you don't have anybody telling you that it's not real,
yeah.
then it is real.
Well, also, I had a friend at that time. I was not in the metaphysical world at all, but I did have one friend, Meg, that I could go to, and sheepishly asked her what was happening, and she was describing, what spiritual awakening was. I didn't know what that was. She was explaining to me every ET that I was meeting. She would tell me what it was, and I didn't know anything about them. So I did at least have that one friend in my life that was not judgmental and was open to it
Yeah.
all and never said anything about it except listen because she's extremely connected also. I can't ever get her to come on YouTube here with me to but she's
Why
very,
not?
she just camera shy. She won't do it. She's
You know, have so I just had this image, and she could be the unknown psychic. Put a bag over her head, have her come in with little ETIs.
I'll ask her.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Unknown psychic.
I'll be in the background.
So
The unknown ET experiencer.
yes. Well, look at GM Dave saying, I almost can't believe that my first experience with meditation was listening to Deepak Chopra
Oh,
tapes.
okay.
Yeah.
And so I want to go back just a little bit.
Okay.
When I said that something about, if nobody's telling you that it's not true, then it is true or whatever in your imaginations when you're playing. That doesn't mean, and I'm not quite sure why it's important for me to say this, but they keep referring to this. It doesn't mean that you can't have discernment over
Oh, yeah.
where you're going in your imagination. So just anything that pops into your head. I mean, you certainly don't want the Pillsbury Doughboy popping into your head at the wrong time. But so it's you still have to have discernment when you're. I don't want to say work. It's more play, but I think also the work is setting up the time to play and writing down, having a system of taking notes after.
Well, also, I think it's the same place, same time. Also, you're doing the same time, same place meditation or
Okay.
connection or sitting outside or whatever it is. You're on this routine. I think that's when they're know when they can connect with you, when that's your special time to connect. I want to
Hmm.
thank Sharon Cower for that $5 super sticker. Thank you,
Thank
Sharon.
you. Yay, thank you.
So,
Um,
but
yeah,
yeah, and
that
and for me, the fear was gone because of my dad. I mean, if he hadn't have been there, I'd have never connected with them.
right, right. I think that setting a time is really, really important.
I do. I think that's the only thing I had going for me with the meditation, since I'm not very good at meditation, is I did do it at the same time, the same day. So it was very easy for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I'm really not. I'm going to get better at that. Setting a specific time to meditate. Yeah.
But you have a pretty good practice in the morning about
Yeah, I do. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to expand that for
yeah,
myself though.
right.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think it's important every morning just to be grateful that you're breathing
Yeah, well, I
air.
would say that is my routine is I do get up and of course feed the pets and do all the pet duties, and then I do a grateful list and then go into meditation.
Yeah.
So that is every morning, and that's time that I cannot be disturbed. It's early in the morning where it's before anything's starting.
Yeah. 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 Because so many things start coming in
Right.
and pulling your attention and all that. I mean, I remember when I was working, there would be the routine was the night before you wrote your calendar and set things up, and then the next morning you didn't have to think about anything that you were doing till noon, and
Right.
then nothing nothing got in the way of the I guess the agenda. And one of my mentors, who was extremely successful in that field, he and this was kind of before I was doing any meditating. He would say the same thing. He'd wake up at 4 o'clock and he would meditate, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "You meditate, really?" Because he didn't seem like he would,
Right.
and kind of opened my eyes a little bit to that. But yeah, nobody, you could not knock on his door, call him anything until afternoon.
Okay. So he had a long, long practice in the morning.
Well, then he would be making phone calls,
Okay.
after that. So while he was working, but he wasn't, it's so, when you're smiling and dialing on the phone all the time, it's easy to get distracted. So his regiment was just, you don't mess with me,
Doing that.
or my
That's
business.
good.
Yeah. So it was a really focused way. And I think about that in this type of work, and I think it's just the focus to have the time set aside
Mhm.
so that you can be in that space. I think that's the hard work that we do, and then we just play in between.
Yeah. I do want to add because some people, I don't want to make the impression that when I did start meeting the ETs that I thought I was normal. No, I kept going to my friends saying I had a brain tumor or something was wrong with me. I needed an MRI, and I didn't think I was crazy, but because I was meeting them and it was new that and my mediumship was really coming through at this time where I was seeing all these people who had passed and they were all coming to me. And I finally had to put up my office hours for them that, that was happening to me. But because I had that friend, like I didn't have this community like we have right now, that because I had that friend, she would tell me I was okay all the time. This is what's happening to you. So I was very grateful to have her.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's one of the amazing things about what we are creating. And it's just not you and me, it's everybody in the chat,
Yeah.
everybody that's coming together, and trying to stay above the fray. And we are doing it. We're doing it. But yep, before you were just isolated, you were just by yourself, and
Mhm.
you're going, oh my
Well, yeah,
gosh.
as I said, I was a closet medium, and anything I would say, I would walk in the house, I knew there, I call it a ghost. There's a ghost in here. Of course, everybody look at you going, "Oh, you're crazy. What are you talking about?" Blah blah blah. Oh, hey Diana, how are you doing after your surgery? Hey Diana, yeah, you're up and about.
Yeah, one of the things that I had in my early growing up was, my dad was pretty cut and dry religious, and that's it. So we did believe in spirits and angels and things that are unseen. But my mom, she was a little out there, even though she didn't really talk about it too much.
Yeah.
She talked about astrology a lot. She talked a little bit about ghosts, and that you can connect, and they're around, and I'm like, ooh. So she was instrumental in me opening up, as hard as it was.
So
But
she didn't. And both my parents had passed before I opened up,
yeah,
which
but
is
still, it was, she gave permission to say, yeah, it's okay to open the door,
a
which I thought was really helpful.
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
See, Diana, you're saying you're okay. You're amazed at the human body. You start PT in an hour. Good for you, Diana. I hope
yeah,
you progress great. I'm sure you will. You have all these people sending you love and energy and helping you along. So, you ready?
excellent.
Anything else you have to say, Daniel? You ready to answer some questions?
Oh, I got so much to say.
Well, go ahead.
No, we'll answer some questions.
I didn't know if
It
that's
may
what
not be worth saying, so.
Well, I think questions, gosh, they spark some, different things to talk
Yeah.
about. Let's see what we got. The first one we got GP 3322. Hi, Dr. Gail and all. Question: what is the best thing we can do right now to allow for clear communication between
Oh,
us and our ET family? I think we have just really talked a lot about that. Clear communication. Danny, you have any recommendations? I'm going, as we've talked about, same time, same place,
yeah.
meditating or whatever gets your mind quiet. It doesn't have meditation. Everybody, it does not have to look like real meditation. For me, I'm terrible at it. But
I
it's
don't
just,
even want to ask when you get your messages. So we're not even going to go.
I get my messages over the place all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. She's in the backyard grabbing a chainsaw and cutting down, some firewood. And she's like all meditating out there with a chainsaw. No, she doesn't do that.
No, but it was it this week or last week that you contacted me about something?
Yeah.
And here's what he said. I said, I don't know what I said, but I said, wait a minute. I'll get to it. I can't even remember what it was, but I said, wait a minute. And you said, are you driving?
She goes, I'm not telling. She told. But I think that's a good question because there's a word in there that that I think is a trap, and it's clear communication. Because sometimes it doesn't seem so clear. Sometimes it's an image or it's a feeling. It could be just a color, and how does that color make you? I mean, there's so many things that come into it, and I think for me, I mean, and don't judge your experience on somebody else's experience.
Right, because your strength could be either hearing,
Yeah.
touching, knowing, feeling. Mine happens to be visual, and but I have all those things. I mean, I hear them, I feel them, I know them, and I see them. So I have all. I've developed all of those. But it started off with smell. I could smell. So, I'm probably the odd one there that I started smelling people who had passed. I knew who they were by their smell. So don't dismiss anything.
Oh my God. This person died 20 years ago. Woo!
That's not that kind of smell. It's like my mother smells like watermelon or fruit, and my
Oh,
dad
nice.
smells like hush puppies or
Hush
barbecue. I
puppies.
can tell I'm from the South, of course, by
Oh,
accent.
dang.
And then my
That
my
would drive me
uncle
nuts. I'd be like as big as a house.
smelling that. Well, you just know they're around you. You start talking to them.
Well,
You know who it is.
I know they're around, and then I'd start cooking up some potatoes.
Well, it doesn't affect me that way. It's just I know who they are, and I start talking to them.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I wish, and again, I can't base it on that. I lost my sense of smell in the 90s.
Well, this
I,
isn't a sense of smell. This is almost like an internal smell.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's kind of different than that.
Right. But still, I don't know what that kind of is. I know what you're saying. But anyway, moving on.
But you lost your sense of smell. When was it that you lost your sense of smell?
In the 90s, early 90s,
From what was that from?
I had a really high fever. And so I lost my uh, smell and tastes. And then it went into phantom smells and tastes. And it was only one. And it was rancid oil. And it was hand cream. I could taste hand cream. I don't eat hand cream, so I don't know. And I could only smell rancid oil. So if I'd go into a restaurant, I would smell rancid oil. So I didn't want to eat anything. It was like that was
Can
weird.
you taste anything now?
It's about 80%
Okay,
back.
so you've gotten a lot back. So
Yeah,
I see
got a
there's a
lot.
lot of people in here saying, Katie Moonshaw saying when her father's around, she smells coffee, maple syrup, and cigarettes. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and let's see, Warrior Widow saying she smells her cousin, who's like her aunt. She died a year ago in bright light. She smells her. Chanel number 5, cigarettes and lavender. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's quite a bit of people who smell people.
And I'm starting to pick up like a smell somewhere. Like if I'm walking around, and it's just happened recently. And I'll go, "What's that smell?" And I go, "It's not a smell that I would be able to smell." For example, I cannot smell gasoline fumes.
Oh, wow.
Not such a good thing, especially if you have a boat, which
Is your grandfather passed away, or is he on this side? Is he gone? Because it's your grandfather that you're smelling.
oh, well, it depends on which one. Because I had my
I hear father's father.
yeah. So my father's father, he was my his real father, biological father. He gave up my dad because his wife had passed. He couldn't deal
Yeah,
with it, couldn't
that's what
take
you
care
need.
of it. So my grandfather, who I thought was always my grandfather, um, so I'm always confused. Which grandfather are we talking about?
Well, he says he's your father's father, so I'm
Okay.
thinking the real father's father.
Yeah, it's complicated over there on that side.
It's complicated in
It's
the
complicated, yeah. But
it's
yeah,
getting complicated in the South a lot too.
what's that?
I said it gets very complicated in the South too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
Oh no, early Dawn saying her grandson was just diagnosed with no smell. Poor baby. Yes, that
Oh
is
boy.
poor baby. All right, let's see what the next question is.
And
So,
that's big because if you can't smell, like propane gas or things,
right,
that's it's
can be
that's a big
dangerous.
thing. Yeah.
So, GP 3322, I hope we answered your question. I think we might have just jumped all over it for all right now to allow for clear communication between us and our ET family. We're just giving you how we've connected, and it might be a little fuzzy, it might be clear, but for me, same time, same place was what opened me up to them doing
Yeah.
a what so-called meditation.
And I just want to add for that is to stay out of fear
Oh yeah.
and just be ready to and just invite them.
Well, if there's somebody on the other side that you trust, like me, like my father, they
Yeah.
can be the person there for you when you do meet them. So
Yeah.
that does take the fear away.
Oh, I definitely don't go out into the ethers by myself.
Right.
I bring my spirit team, my soul family, whatever, and it
Right.
could be a whole bunch of them, or it could be just my shark.
Yes. My lion is the one that goes with me with scary stuff. Poor
Yeah.
thing should be bald by now, the way I hang on to his hair. Okay, all right, let's see who's next. We've got Sarah. Any messages I'm not hearing from my galactic family? Have I stepped over the line I needed a pushover? Thank you, Dr. Gail and Danny.
I
I'm not
stepped over.
real sure what that means. I need a pushover. What do you mean by that, Sarah?
Does she need a little push? Is that what
A
she's talking?
little push, I think. That must mean that.
Hmm. Okay, what is it?
Have I stepped over the line? I need a pushover. Oh, is it a reading that I've done for you in the past, Sarah, that you needed to be pushed over the line? Yeah, oh, you needed to push. Yes, I needed to push. Okay, that's kind of what I was sitting there going, reading that. That must have been because I very rarely remember any kind of readings that I do because it's not really me doing the reading or giving the information is my galactic friends that are actually they sit in my lap and whisper in my ear. I don't allow them to jump on my body to reveal the information, but we have made a deal that they can sit in my lap and whisper in my ear the information. So have you stepped out of line? I'm getting a yes, she has. What are you getting, Danny?
I'm getting that, the challenge. Well, the challenge is in the question that you're asking yourself. Have I? And so I think just I'm using the contact cards. So I'm getting the transformation. You should just go with it, and you can't see that very well, and just explore and just be willing to get out there and not question so much. Am I doing it right? Just keep doing it, and you might be getting little bits of information that's going to grow into big information.
Right, it's a little bit because what I'm seeing, Sarah, is you cross the line, but you're standing right there on the line with your heels still on that line.
Yeah.
And you're not moving. I crossed the line, but
Yeah.
next tier.
And the only reason I'm laughing at that is that because I've never done that.
No,
Holding
never.
on to the past. No, not yet. Yeah, right.
Yes, it's been a long journey. A long journey. Bring it to Danny being here and openly talking about this. It was a long journey.
Long journey.
Okay, let me see who's next. You see any questions you want to answer?
Oh, let me see.
Tell me the time if you see it.
Okay. Hang on. I'm not seeing. Hey, what's up with y'all? No question.
Yeah, another Linda. Let me. I think I'll do a video on that and put it up so I can give you more information than just here this few minutes. Yet another on Talcita. I'll post a video on that here soon.
What is Talcita? I know you're going to post a video on it, but
it's a star. There's Talcita beings on there.
Okay.
You probably have some cards that have Talcita on it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think I've. Oh, yeah, maybe.
I'm going to say yes. So, anyway, I'll look up the information, or I'll find my information that I have on it, because I have this book that I keep information on all these different beings and species, and so it'll be easier for me just to do a video and post that. Usually I do that with Terry when she's out of the country, gone to see her brother, so she's kind of gone for a month, and she'll be back though. But I will do something with that and post it.
Yeah. I don't know here's a question, but I can't put it up.
Can you tell me what time it is and I can find it?
9:27. Okay. But I have never heard of the movie Project Hail Mary.
I haven't either.
Oh,
I think that might be something new.
Yeah, it says, was rock people portrayed accurately in the movie?
Oh, I don't know. The rock people. I tell you who the expert. You were an expert on it, and so was Terry. You two should do a show on just rock people.
Rock people, and there's a book called Conversations with Nature. We were talking about this before, where this woman Ariana talks to rocks and has these in-depth spiritual questions answered via the rock people. And, you go, man, that woman's crazy. She's talking to rocks. It is so profound, the information that she gets. Because for me, the rock people are, their time awareness is so much different than all of ours. And so we're focused so much on a little bitty bit of time. I mean, we have a watch that spins around, it's like nothing like that with the rock people. So, and it's good to see that the ancient wisdom that comes from them. So, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what that Project Hail Mary movie is about. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Hey, Jen Coop, thanks for the 4.99 that you sent us, but we're not doing politics and ETs. That's not, Daniel probably do that on his show. Uh, that's just not something we go there here. We try to go positive.
Go. Yeah. Well, now politics can be positive. You're just thinking that it's really scary. We're just opening up to something new. Um, what do you think? Hey, can I throw a question? What do you think of this moon launch that they're doing?
Well, ask me a specific question, not just a,
Specific question. Do you think so? They're going around to the dark side of the moon. Enough said. Your look gave me enough said. So yeah, they're trying to go back to the moon again after 20 years. The U.S. is with one Canadian astronaut, and I just thought it was really odd. Why are they not? Why was there such a break from going to the moon and back? It was 20 years or so. Is that something you want to get into?
is it real? That's
Was
all I
that
have.
a no? Okay. I didn't see where it was okay. So the thing is, yeah, I read on this last, I think Monday, and a lot of my, because I spent a lot of time in Hollywood, in Burbank, in the studio system, people going, yeah, that was filmed in the Desilu Studios of Culver City, the first moon. And I went, well, that'd be appropriate that Lucy, I love Lucy, would have the moon on her.
Well, she was very connected with all this.
Yeah.
So I think she was the one that forefront that wasn't she the one that actually let Star Trek be produced, all those different things in her
Oh,
studio? I think she's the one.
I'm not sure.
I think so. So she's very, very forward thinking.
Hmm.
Well, so I'll just go there. We're going to move on because I don't like getting into anything politics and I don't like getting into anything negative and I don't like saying anything that's going to flag me.
Okay.
So
Move on.
we're going to move on. And nothing controversial. I've already stepped over the grounds that I usually ever go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was me. That was my fault.
Okay. All
I'm going to
right.
get reprimanded by mom with the big blue eyes.
That's
Going to
right.
go, do not do that anymore. You're upsetting her.
Okay. White Dragon say it was Desilu Studios that made Star Trek.
Okay.
So, and I
And
think
then
it
they
was,
moved over to Paramount.
yeah, I think it was specifically for her. Okay, so Patricia, I've never seek ETs out yet. I always was drawn to most things regarding them. One just appeared in my meditation about 2 years ago. Then the journey began with more experiences, thanks to Dr. Gail. Oh, thank you, Patricia. I thought
Yeah.
you had a question there going on. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, I think us joining together, us make okay, bless you, making
Thank
it okay to have these things happening to us and that we have each other to explain it.
you. Yeah. Yeah. And just to bounce, are we crazy questions off of each other? And
Yeah,
yeah, it's good. It's so helpful.
it is helpful. Okay, here is perpetual spiral. Is it shape shifting or are cosmic beings authentic and sharing their other soul experiences? Woo, wow, what a
Mm,
question You have the, we just could go deep dive and do a whole show just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on that question. But there's of course there's shape shifting because there's needs to shape shift for our eyes that appeals to our eyes. So there's
Yes.
some of that. And are cosmic beings authentic? Yes, they're authentic and sharing their other, but they do share their other soul experiences. We share our other soul experiences because I think it was a couple of shows that I did. I talked about me where they showed me I had like 20 lives going on at the same time. They were showing me, they said had two rings around my head going in the opposite direction with different size balls, and they said this is continually going on at the same time. So all those 20 lives, and when one of those balls overlap is when it's a flashback or something that you see in another lifetime. It makes you start questioning things. But I've got at least 20 lives going on at the same time. So, and I'm a shapeshifter. I tip off my human suit and put on all these different things like a whale or a shark, or I think all our souls go out and
Yeah,
shapeshift and put on different outfits on what we want to experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dan, I know you got a lot to say on this. This
One of
is
the things that you yeah, got a lot to say on anything. One of the things that you said that I think is so important, and you just kind of glossed over it. At least I think you said it was that we have a lot to share with them.
yes,
So a lot of times we're expecting information, bring me information, bring me in, but a lot of times they're coming to us for information. So it's just not a one-way street. So we're sharing our earthly experiences with them. And I mean, I have my own way of looking at that as we are here to create um, another world, a different experience. And so, what we're learning here on Earth School is going to be used for another one of those 20, 30 worlds that we are, our lives that we're inhabiting. So, yeah, they're giving us information, but it's reciprocal. We're giving them information too.
right. Because for in the beginning, whenever I was asking, why me? Why are they using me? Why is it me you're contacting? They kept going, because you're human. You
Yeah.
look human. And I just like, I was so disappointed in that answer for so long. I never understood it until finally, why me? Why are you choosing me? Why am I doing these things? Because you're human. You look human. And that was a disappointing answer.
Yeah. Can it be different? Yeah. That was a great question.
It was. Okay. You want to pick out another question? Daniel,
Uh,
let me go to
okay.
the next one.
Let me see. Let me see.
Great questions.
Yeah. Where was this?
This will probably be our last question.
Um, oh,
Hey,
hey.
hello, aliens.
Hello, aliens. Uh, wait a minute. Hang on. I had been 942. I'm looking at. I had been a daily marijuana caffeine user for 30 years. 2 months ago, I stopped. I didn't feel like I made the decision. Oh, that's interesting. But the decision made me. I feel like fear is keeping me from connecting. That I like
Oh, there it is.
the
I
yeah
stopped. Okay.
yeah I like that she had been doing this thing for 30 years, and then the decision the decision made me stop, whatever that was. So flip that word decision into something else: spirit, guides, angels. I know that's happened to you, Gail.
Yeah, you and I've talked about it many times because right in the beginning, they
Yeah,
told me to go on a bland diet for 5
yeah,
days. And I heard that over and over again, going on a bland diet for 5 days, going on a bland diet for 5 days. Why am I going on a bland diet for 5 days? I was going, they wouldn't answer me. So I thought, well, why not? I mean, I don't have anything to lose. Go on a bland diet for 5 days. Well, that bland diet for 5 days, I ended up flying in a spaceship. I ended up learning how to fly a spaceship. All these things happened to me because I went on that bland diet. But
Yes.
the reason for that bland diet was I was so nauseated and sick after my first experience going up in the spaceship. The only thing I could tolerate for like 2 weeks to a month, it was a long time, was bread. I could only eat bread because I was so sick and nauseated, but I loved it. I was sitting there going, I don't care. I want to go again. If I get
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
let me do it again. And you have gone through this many times when you're saying, and what's happening. And I thought at that time also was, okay, well, am I going to forever have to be on this bland diet? Well, the answer is no. You're just going up to a different level, and your whole body's having to adjust. Danny's always getting, quit drinking beer, what you're always getting. I
I
go, Danny,
do.
it's only temporary. It's not like forever. You don't have to quit doing it forever. It's just during the time that you're going through a change. And when your body's going through such a change with information coming in, you need to give it a break. And the break is the intake of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's yeah, but it's you. So for me, I get and it's not like I drink a ton. It's
Right.
not
Well, no,
like I have a 12
she
pack.
probably doesn't do a lot either. Well, maybe she does, but yeah, I don't think it has to do with doing a lot or the amount that you're doing.
No.
Because for me, the bland diet was different, but my diet at that time wasn't that bad. I'm surprised they're not telling me to go on a bland diet now. I'm gonna go off the wagon here, but I just think your body just needs that little break to
Yeah,
be able to adjust.
yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is not permanent. I don't think going on a bland diet is it should be permanent. But for example, cutting out beer, that could easily be permanent. Cutting out caffeine or daily marijuana, that could be permanent,
Well,
but it's
but they
necessarily
but they're human experiences. And I don't think they want you to be denied of human experiences. And it
right.
took me a long time. It probably took me years to figure that out after being on bland diet. And then I was, went back to eating whatever I want to eat. And then I had to go back on bland diet. In fact, recently I had to go on a bland diet for a couple of days when I knew I had just had an upgrade. But now I realize it. And I really don't think they're telling you to quit doing this stuff for a permanent thing. I think it's just to help your body during this transition point.
Right.
And you can make the decision at that time, okay, well, I hadn't had this in a while. I'm not going to do it anymore or not have any more. But then again, there is the human experience, and that is part of the human experience.
Right. And I think that with altering your awareness through different substances, um, you got to be really for me anyway. You got to be really careful with how that's working because that can overtake what the the shape shifting message should be. I'm kind of using that term. I don't know if it's correct, but when you go into that altered state, you want it to be in a place that number one you can kind of remember what it was, so you can write it down. So it can't be just recreation type stuff. It's because that gets us into a trap. I'm going to leave it like that.
Okay. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for the day. It's been a great show. Thanks, Danny, for being here. Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you, Gail. Thanks, everybody.
And thanks, moderators, for making this a safe place and for us to have a place to come and talk about these things. So, when's your next show, Danny, or when's your next video coming out?
I know I'll have one on Friday. I'm trying not to watch. Anyway, I'll have one on Friday, and you just smacked me on the side of my head. I felt it. I felt it. Don't talk about that. Okay. So I'll have one on Friday and and then Sunday for sure.
And for me, tomorrow I will be doing a show on Galactic Gaia, which will be color therapy. And so
Ooh,
that is the new channel, and that is the channel for healing. And so that's what we'll be doing, color therapy tomorrow, probably about the same time.
yeah.
Galactic Gaia on the other channel. So, all
Yeah.
right, everybody, thank you, and we'll see you later. All right, bye bye.
Bye everybody.